Does what you know affect what you see? This long debated question has been investigated in a number of studies, with some suggesting that prior knowledge, emotions, and desires can influence visual perceptions. However, as the authors of a recent paper in the Journal of Experimental Psychology, General, write, the idea is still hotly contested. Michael A. Cohen at MIT and colleagues decided to focus on proving one particular claim, that a person's prior knowledge of the color of an object can influence the color that they see. Their work suggests that this can indeed happen, at least in certain circumstances. The researchers first identified 16 colorful objects and images that they were sure could be very familiar to the 15 students participants that they recruited for the main experiment. This included the Facebook logo, the American flag, the Incredible Hulk, and a road stop sign. Each participant first went into a dimly lit room where they were shown glossy grayscale posters of each of the 16 stimuli. Each time they were asked if the image seemed to be in color or black and white, and if they did see a color, they were asked what that color was and how vivid it was. The participants then repeated this procedure, but in bright light. Then, back in dim light, they were shown the posters again, but this time the images had been mostly covered so that only a small segment was visible. An experimenter did tell them what the full image was, however. Again, they were asked about what colors, if any, they saw. When the team analyzed the data, they found that when the participants viewed the full grayscale images in bright light, they did not see any colors, neither did they report seeing any colors when they were shown only small, ambiguous portions of the images in dim light, despite being told what the images were. However, in dim light, when viewing the full grayscale images, the participants consistently reported seeing the corresponding colors. So, when viewing a grayscale Facebook logo, for example, in bright light they reported seeing no color, though in dim light it had appeared to be blue. Overall, we believe that these findings demonstrate a robust and subjectively appreciable memory color effect under ambiguous viewing conditions, the researchers write. It was notable that even when the participants were told what the full image was, when they saw only a small part of it, they didn't see colors. These results suggest that although top down knowledge can induce a memory color effect, it cannot do it cannot do so in the abstract alone. There must be sufficient visual input that such knowledge can act upon, the team notes. It's worth noting that the sample size in this study of just 15 is small. However, their findings do fit with the popular predictive processing model of perception. According to this model, the brain uses both raw sensory data and expectations based on prior experience to generate sensory perceptions. However, the theory goes if one is lacking, if the sensory data is poor quality or alternatively, if the brain can't identify prior experiences to draw on, it will rely more heavily on the other source of information to generate perceptions. This is exactly what seems to have happened in this study. Understanding when and how the brain fills in. Understanding when and how the brain fills in color has potential practical implications for improving safety and communication in dark, for example, and the designing signage for low light settings, the team thinks. But by providing clear evidence that existing knowledge can influence color perception, this study also contributes to the ongoing debate about when and in what circumstances top down knowledge can have an impact on what we see.